want to take a moment and address comments that Chief O'Shea made a couple weeks ago at a press briefing. I think it was, don't hold me to this, but I believe it was following the Motel 8 incident, as well as a number of other violent acts during that week. Not an excuse, but want to set that stage. I'll say this. I'm the mayor of the entire city of Rockford. It's an unbelievable honor that I have that I don't take lightly. I've learned more in the last week from my meetings with different citizens than I've had the opportunity to learn in probably the 3 years that I've been mayor. I want to say, number one, I don't agree with Chief O'Shea's comments. Every single person who calls Rockford home is valuable. Every single person who calls Rockford home is worth fighting for. When I graduated college, I worked at a community-based correctional facility. At this facility, we had the privilege to work with men and women convicted of felonies who were coming back to the community or were alternatively sentenced to the community. I know firsthand that with love, with some mentorship, and a community putting their arms around an individual, and with that individual's strength and courage, every single person can be saved. Every single day, I have never said this publicly. I don't even know if I need to. But every single day, I wear two things. Wedding ring, because I have a wife I don't deserve, and I wear a necklace. And this necklace was given to me by a woman named Stephanie, who I had the opportunity to be a case manager for. Quite honestly, she taught me so much more than I taught her. But if anything, I could probably go through and name probably 85 to 90% of the clients I worked with because of the impact they had on me. Every single life can be saved. We shouldn't throw away anyone. And that's just the bottom line. I also want to say there's been a number of items out there facing our community. And I think, been trying to think of those words. What does this last week, what has it felt like? It's been different, drastically different. It's been, and the word that keeps coming up to me is uncomfortable, but the best uncomfortable you can feel. I mean, I think we have to, number one, say thank you to these young people who have stood up and said, this isn't right. We as a community can and should be better. I'm here to say, again, I hear their voices, and I thank them for being those vocal leaders that we all want young people to be. We have always said, where are the young people? Where are the young people? They're right in front of us now, and their voices will not be silenced, and they shouldn't be silenced. As I said on Sunday, I'm here to listen. I'm not going to come out with some 5-point plan that people are saying, you need to come out with your plan. To me, we've done that before. Every community across the country has come out with their plans. But I think we did something somewhat special when we talked about domestic violence. And I'm not equating the two. I'm equating the processes. But with domestic violence, the first thing we did is we said we need to listen to survivors. We need to hear their voices, to hear what's on their heart, to see where we have failed them. And so my job right now is to listen to the Black community specifically the black community, to see where I have failed them, where this city has failed them, where this country has failed them. If it's happened in the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 300 years, that's where I need to be, to listen to those voices. And that's what I am doing. And once we listen, we can't stop there. We have to listen to them. We have to hear those common themes. And from those common themes, we need action plans. And then, folks, we all need to coalesce and say, this isn't Republican, this isn't Democrat, this isn't white, and it isn't black. This is a humanity issue, that we need to have a more equitable community. And if you don't agree with that, don't support me. But if you agree with that, come to the table. I want to hear your voice. I'll be up front. I'm not perfect. I say bad things. I shouldn't say I say bad things. Well, once in a while, my mother would say I say bad things. But when I err, and I think when some people err in what they say, what I've learned this past week is I've erred. I've erred in just the last 3 or 4 weeks. But it hasn't been because of my heart. It's been because of my head. And I need to learn more. And I need to listen more. And so I'm here to commit to every single citizen who calls Rockford home to listen to their voice, but specifically the black community, to listen to your voice. Not pull in other groups and say we're going to make this about a larger issue. We have issues right here in Rockford with the black community, and we need to make this a stronger community for them. We need them to have every opportunity that everyone else does to prosper. And that starts at a very young age. It starts in programs that City of Rockford runs with Head Start. The police is a huge piece of this, and that's where our attention should be. But we also need to understand the police isn't going to do it alone. We certainly have policies and procedures that we'll be looking at. We're certainly going to make sure that it's not just policies and procedures, but we also talk about penalties for folks who put forth and put injustices out there. But this is also about us as an entire community. This is where living those values becomes really difficult. So I know I spent time not talking about COVID, but I apologize for that. I just think it's important for folks to know that you have a city that is here to listen to you, and that we will continually work to improve ourselves, myself, our departments, our organization, and our community as a whole. With that, I know Chairman Haynes